Hello, this is wmpyr here to share with you all some details on the kinetic opening for the LLC, the Lapu-Lapu Corto knife. Okay, so yeah, one detail that the professor shared with me recently is something I've been doing it all these years like this, where I'm striking onto the enemy's arm. So I'm striking onto their limb, boom, and then I open because it hooks on the ramp. And that's how I've been doing it. And the professor said, no, that's not really kinetic opening. The way to do kinetic opening is you touch. So rather than striking down, you touch. And then from here, the ramp hooks. And then you open the blade that way. You deploy the knife like so, right? And after hearing that, that made a whole lot of sense because his system, the modular system, is about touch. So he's touching the opponent, so that requires more sensitivity, whereas I was coming from the mentality more like a boxer or a kickboxer where it's striking. So I'm striking and not saying that you can't do that, because obviously you can, but that is not what the professor had in mind. So studying his system is by, once you touch, then from here, boom. So you're looking for that connection. So immediately when you touch and make that connection, then boom. So the way that I see it is the deployment then becomes more closer to like 100%. Your guarantee is much higher because you're touching. When you do it like I was doing, which is striking, which is more closer to boxing and kickboxing, now you're playing, like, I don't want to say a game, but essentially that's what it is. You got to be accurate. You got to be precise. You have to hit the target. And you have to be on the mark. And then it'll deploy. Just like any kind of strike that you do in boxing, kickboxing, MMA is, I mean, that's why they got rounds, because it's so difficult that it's usually not going to happen with one shot. They use combos, and it takes a long time for that to happen. But if you go by touch, then you know whether you're ready or not. So the touch, in that sense, I thought was brilliant. Okay, so that's something that I definitely wanted to share with you, the difference there to do the proper kinetic opening. And now there's another thing that he mentioned, which was a friction opening. And I said, what's the difference between kinetic opening and friction opening? And he explained that with a kinetic opening, it's touch and then boom, right? You hook and you can deploy the blade like so. You hook it on whatever. And he said a good way to practice, by the way, is on your finger like this. So touch and then boom, like so, right? And then he said for friction opening, you're going to touch, so it's not strike. So it starts off the same way as a kinetic opening, touch. And then from there, you're going to go ahead and open the blade. You maintain contact. You never leave. Like in a kinetic opening, you can leave. But with a friction opening, you maintain contact. Why? So that you can immediately trap the arm. So that is the difference. So I hope I made it clear for you guys, the difference between a kinetic opening and a friction opening. And I hope you guys practice it. So that's it for now. Thank you for viewing, and take care, folks.